Welcome to Caros. This is the Three Pedals podcast. I'm Al Richards. We have Mike Palumbo.
Buongiorno.
And Dan Pendleton.
What's going on?
Thanks everyone for listening. If it's your first time, welcome. If not, thanks for coming back. So, what have you guys been doing this week?
I've only been back for a couple of days at work, so.
Not much then.
Nope, 2 days. Feels like I've already been back for a full week, but I'm working tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes.
At least busy?
Good. Yeah, we've been busy. I was like, I'm on vacation, so it was like, sometimes you're like, I kind of want to get back home. Got back home, had a couple of days to like reset and got some stuff done. I did like 4 loads of laundry and then I got back into it. No, I do like my job. I realize. Like I do
too.
I do like fixing cars. Like I really do like sometimes I don't always love the hustle. I think I do like it sometimes.
You get burned out sometimes, but that's why you need vacation.
Exactly.
I need to reset for even my short trips to Disney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A Friday to Monday. I just need to get away, take a couple days off.
It really does help because I do like the activity and like the challenge, like mentally and physically. Like it's just you're trying to be good at something that's kind of hard, and it's like it's rewarding and it's gratifying. But vacation was cool, so I mean, obviously you guys know where I went.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, but other than that, just trying to get back into the swing of things, which has been fine. You know, good.
Michael?
No comment on work. Fuck.
I mean, work sucks in general.
Yeah, no, I mean,
nobody wants to do
if we're talking about, when it's good, it's good. I enjoy the problem solving aspect of it. I like coming in and being able to be the hero and solve problems and all of that. But man, this week was just a metal bat straight to the forehead every single day. Everything out of my control that possibly could have gone wrong went wrong. And I'm still not sure I've solved all the problems yet. I mean,
is the week over now? Or do you still?
No, actually, I've got
reeling.
Yeah, he said he was working on the way here.
Literally, I was driving down here and I was on the phone with one of my coworkers trying to. It was like almost 6:00, and we were literally like brainstorming things that we could do to try to solve a problem that we had. Not a problem caused by us. It's basically client ordered 20 Ford Mavericks back in February.
Oh yeah, this problem's still going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we ordered caps for them because they need caps to do their job.
Yep.
And the dealer, I'm sure we all know if anybody knows caps on trucks, like ARE.
Yep.
So they quoted a 6-week lead time. 6 weeks came, turned into a 9-week lead time. 9 weeks came. It's now a 14-week lead time.
Is it because of the color?
No.
Just
because they suck and basically blew smoke at us to try to get.
They wanted the business,
so they blew smoke.
How many other competitors do they have?
So the really only other like major mainstream cap company is Lear, but Lear is straight up. Lear's like, we have a 4 to 6 month lead time, like hands down. I can't tell you if it's going to be 4 months. I can't tell you if it's going to be 6 months, but it's going to be in that window. So typically that doesn't really work for most people unless you're like...
Especially when you're a fleet.
Yeah, like if you're planning ahead in your factory ordering your vehicles and those trucks have like a 14 to 16 week lead time anyway, it usually works out fine. But this was just... They needed them on the ground ideally like 3 weeks ago, but kind of have like June 1st as like a drop dead date. And as of this afternoon, they said that they were going to ship their caps on June 8th, which I have no faith in the fact that they're actually coming June 8th. So we ended up calling another distributor that we work with. They basically like in-house build their own like modular caps. Like they basically just like kind of, I don't know, screw them together, I guess. Like they basically just have like all like the different lengths of the sides and the panels, glass, no glass, whatever it is. So we called them and they were like, we can have 20 caps to you guys in 5 to 7 business days. Like,
damn. Is it a smaller operation?
No. So they're a national distributor, but they own they have all their own stock of materials. They have everything, so they can literally, for anyone out there that knows that's in the upfitting world, it's Adrian Steel. So basically, they have installers all across the U.S. They have their main locations, but they control basically their whole stream from production all the way through install. So we're trying to figure out how quickly we can get a PO cut to them, how quickly they can actually because if they can come through on these 20.
We use them all the time.
I've already committed one of my clients for 130 vehicles to go to them.
Oh, wow.
Just new orders this year, so it'll be rolling
too.
year after year. And then we're trying to see how much we can do this, because this guy's got to order probably another 35 trucks this year, and then probably another 60 next year at least. So trying to figure that out. So problem solving aspect, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I like being able to kind of work with all these different people and figure stuff out, but it also sucks when you have to call your client and be like, sorry,
he should do
bro.
a test run and just be like, can you do a 1981 Rabbit pickup? we need a cab.
No lie, if you sent them the dimensions, because they have the stock.
If it comes through, we'll order the 20 other ones.
Yeah, but no, it's just been the week from hell at work. Everything out of your control that could go wrong went wrong. So I'm ready for 3 days off.
Yeah. No,
That's for sure.
I completely forgot we had Monday off. I knew it was there, but
I always have Monday
forgot,
off. So
yeah, true.
there's just be more people in my way.
Yeah. So
What about you, Albert? What have you been up to?
just working busy.
That's good.
Yeah. Banged out 60 hours Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was pumped.
Wow. Nice.
So I was pretty happy. It's nice to be busy, and I'm not putting in any extra hours. I'm actually staying till 4 o'clock now instead of blowing out at 3 o'clock.
That's good.
So, and then I'm full in on the new Forza Horizon game.
Okay.
So I got it Friday night, the pre-release, and I just been trying to play. But
is it nasty? The graphics and everything?
It's a arcade simulator. It's not like Forza
it's
Motorsport,
Gran Turismo.
but it's not Gran Turismo, but it's I don't know, it's tough to explain, but the map is I want to say it's 3 or 4 times bigger than the previous maps, and I'm a achievement whore. So there's roads, you drive down a road and it's one road found. There's 671 roads, and I wouldn't do anything else until I got all 671 roads. And you know what I mean? I hyper focus on certain things. There's XP boards that you got to smash on the side of the road. I have all the easy ones. The rest of them I have to launch off something.
Yeah.
And dive onto it with the car, and you got to rewind and speed check and slow down. And,
It's Need for Speed.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I feel
it's like a cross between Need for Speed
and Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Okay.
You have the actual racing, but you also have the whole
Fun.
world weird interaction.
Yeah, but
portion of it.
there's speed zones, so it's hey, you need to do over 120 miles an hour through this stretch, and it's some of them are straight line, some of them are curves, some of them are on dirt, some of them. Then you have drift zones and speed traps and stunt jumps, but then they have regular racing. But you could play this game for a year and not finish everything.
Yeah.
The last one, I did everything, 3-starred everything, and I was all right, I got to collect all the cars. There's 600 and something cars, and they come out with new ones because the game's out for a year or 2 years, so they add cars to it and this and that. But I try to do everything.
Wasn't there the HBA R32 in Forza? The blue one?
No, it was in Gran Turismo.
Gran
I think it was
Turismo?
Gran
Yeah.
Turismo 4.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm so out of touch with video games.
Well, I was telling a guy at work, I'm like, Dan just doesn't play video games.
I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't have
no,
time. I
get
like
it.
video games. I like the OG stuff. I used to like Gran Turismo, obviously, a lot.
Yeah.
And then it advanced, and it was the same game pretty much, but the controller changed. And then it's okay, I'm no longer good at this because you have to readapt to everything.
Yeah,
and
it's not a D-pad anymore.
Right. I do like the racing sim stuff, but do you guys remember 2 noteworthy vintage games? The Taxi racing. It was not
crazy
taxi.
Okay, hell yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
How good was that game?
Yeah,
I
have it.
Crazy Taxi.
That
it
was
was
like
N64,
Tony Hawk
right?
Pro
Yeah, it was
Skater.
Sega.
Same time. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Yep,
was
yep.
around the same time. I remember that game came out too. And then the other one was the one with the crazy ice cream truck that you would like.
Oh, I just watched the series
Twisted Metal.
Dude.
They put out a series on like HBO or something,
So good.
and I ended up watching it. And I was like, this is actually pretty good. As stupid as it is, the guy with the fucking flaming head and the ice cream truck.
Yeah. You could shoot like rockets and stuff.
He's like chasing people down and trying to kill them, like in the series.
Oh, it's actually
like it's got.
they made it like a real life.
They made it
thing.
a live
that's
action.
so funny.
But it's like, dystopia. The
Yeah.
world has ended, and
Yeah.
you got guys running water back and forth from like San Francisco to LA. Or
I
whatever
miss
it is.
Cruisin' USA. And what was the other one? It was
Me and Laura played it at Dave and Buster's
was it
recently.
California Rush?
Yep, California Cruising.
uh,
Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Rush or something like that. But all I remember was that there was a one of the cars was an E34 5 Series.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, for whatever reason, that was a car I always gravitated to in that game for no good reason.
Were those the ones that you would find in like pizza shops with like a
Yeah,
sometimes
I
they'd
think-
have it set up as
I
like an
think
arcade game.
Cruisin' USA, definitely.
Yes. I remember
All
that.
I remember, speaking of like racing sim games, there was this game that they used to have at Chuck E. Cheese. And it was like
Racing Rush? No, that's not
no, it was like
it. It was an
right.
arcade game.
let's leave it at this. Whoever listens to this, if you remember that game, put it down. It was like Rush 90210 or like California Rush, or I forget exactly
I
what it
remember
was.
the other one was Cruising USA.
Yeah,
I
Cruising
remember that one.
World, Cruising USA.
Yeah,
They had a
Cruising
bunch
World,
of different
Cruising
versions.
USA.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a game at Chuck E. Cheese that was like, it was almost like Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, kind of like to a degree.
Yeah.
But it was actually, you know what? Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, I still have a bone to pick with that game. Because whatever it was, like the final boss you had to race on the highway or something like that, to this day, never beaten it. Could never beat it. Didn't matter what car I had, I could never beat them. Never figured it out. But I forget what it was, but it was at Chuck E. Cheese, and it was like literally, it was all JDM cars and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it had like the actual like shifter clutch setup and all that stuff. And I remember like when I was a kid and I used to go there, I would blow, like, my mom was like, here's, $20. I'd blow all $20 on that game. No tickets either. It was
No, yeah, you're not getting shit
just
out of
to play.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's it for me. I've just been working and playing video games, so I fully give up on Call of Duty, and that'll be my new thing until probably GTA 6 comes out.
So how many texts do you guys have now?
5.
Okay. I
So-
heard about the
Yeah.
little
Yeah, fuck her. She didn't do anything anyways. Like Kim's like,
shit.
does she listen to this? I'm like, no, not a chance. And even if she does, fuck her, she's gone.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was definitely for the best, because now there's an extra bay between Rob. There's 2 extra bays between Rob and Casey, and then me and Ryan have a bay on either side of us. So there's 4 extra bays for 5 people now. When before there was 2 extra bays for 7 people.
Yeah.
So you couldn't double up anybody really. You double me up, and then somebody else would get doubled and have to go across the shop if it wasn't Ryan. So it definitely works out better. And my manager's like, I'm not hiring anybody else.
Yeah.
We're like super busy for maybe 2 months out of the year where it's gonna get hectic. And he's like, only one person off at a time unless it's like an emergency.
It's a good way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we all want to make money. Like,
Regulate.
why are we gonna hire people just to fill bodies?
Right.
There's extra bays, but like Peabody's technically bigger than us. They have 14 bays. They only have like 5 or 6 techs. I think they have 2 hourly guys and like 5 flat rate. And one of them left. He started like 4 months before me.
Yeah.
And he just left to go work for like you're rebuilding old hot rods. What's it called?
Like a rest.
Resto mod. He's doing resto
yeah.
mods. And the guy, I guess he was doing nights and weekends with this guy as like a second job. And he ended up, the guy bought like a 800 square foot building or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
paid like $8 million for it, and he's like, I'm going full in.
Hopefully 8,000 square feet.
What did I
For a
say?
couple, you said 800.
I don't know, man.
I was like, shit, 800
It
square
was
feet for $8 million.
whatever the number was. It was massive. Yeah,
So,
800's a lot.
Yeah.
8,000,
like downtown
8,000
Portsmouth?
would be pretty
Yeah,
huge,
8,000 sounds about right.
Yeah.
I heard this secondhand. I don't remember. And it was like 2 weeks ago. It's late. But yeah, he spent like, he paid all the money for it.
Yeah.
So he's moving. I guess it's going to be in like Epping, the place. He's moving up from Mass to Epping or something like that. But yeah, I go
Center of the universe.
I was like giving up. He's giving
Speedway.
up flat rate. Yeah, he's giving up
Speedway
flat
there.
rate, and he's going to pay him hourly, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So
I've actually heard rumors about a couple of guys bouncing around that have been at certain places for years, and they're just trying to find different. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting to hear. You know, I don't want to go into specifics,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, I feel like it goes with anything. I mean, I feel like for career growth, I mean, realistically, I mean, anyone that's our age, I mean, staying at one place your whole career is not going to get you anything. It's not like the old days where it's like, you know, you get,
Yeah.
well, it might be a little different for, you know, being a tech or anything like that,
Yeah.
but you know,
sales definitely, like being a salesman doesn't. The only thing that helps you is having that reoccurring customer base.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, typically for career growth, I mean, you know, I think both of you guys are pretty fortunate that you're well tenured where you are, you're well respected where you are, so you can make the case for yourself to get more hourly without too much of a
I was gonna
hassle.
say, I feel like dealerships
But-
might be the exception
Yeah.
to that, because if you are, but it really depends. I mean, if you stay with an independent shop as a tech for a long time and you build like rapport and
You
like,
have a better
you
relationship with the owner
Yeah.
than like at a dealer.
the weird part about the tech industry for mechanics and stuff is it's kind of strange, because you can bounce around and get $1 here, $1 there, or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
which people do.
But it really is about finding the spot that suits you. Like, if you know, there are guys who make it in dealership, they can stick at the dealership and they will stay there forever because they make really good money, and if they go anywhere else, they're probably not going to make as much money. They don't mind hustling. You know, everybody has a different kind of flow, and but there are guys that are definitely better off at independence, because, and not to say that some independents are some are just as fast paced, if not faster paced than the dealership. Like, it's rare, but depends, you know. So it is a little, I wouldn't say moving around always is the best for growth, because sometimes staying at a good place, not to say that there's bad and there's good and bad things about everywhere, obviously.
Yeah.
And no perfect, there's no perfect shop, it seems like.
No, you got to
know.
find the one that may have a few oddball quirks or things you don't like, but
you got to weigh out, like, do you want more money for a shittier environment?
Yeah.
Or do you want a great environment with like pretty good team and like a pretty low key schedule?
Yep.
But maybe less money. If you can find all of that in one, stay there forever. That's my piece of advice.
Yeah.
If you can find a shop that you have a really flexible schedule, you make really good money, they take really good care of you, they have a family type atmosphere, but you're making good money, because usually that's not the case in those situations. You're not gonna make what you're gonna make at a dealership doing, the quick, the in and out. The waiters are a pain in the ass, but it's like you're hammering all day, but it's like, you gotta offset everything.
Yep.
And see and try to find the balance. But yeah, I don't know how we got onto that.
I don't know.
It's probably
honestly,
me.
restoration though seems like a really cool way. But we were talking about with Doug, I think, and we were saying that like the restoration side is really hard business model, because you have to charge so much more.
Yep.
Because these customers have to have more money, because you're spending so much more time.
Well, yeah, you don't have a car in your bay for 3 days to do a big job. You have a car in your shop for
a year.
Years,
Exactly.
potentially.
Yeah, and you can't flat rate a lot of those things.
No, it's nut and bolt off.
Yep.
Replace.
Yep. Everything has to be basically punched on a time clock.
Yep.
You know, so it's like you're punching a time, and that's what you're getting paid. So you charge more, pay your tech more. But that's a completely different industry, you know.
And you got to charge different for body work.
Body work is extremely fascinating to me because insurance companies dictate the rate of the shop, which is generally lower. But I was talking to Johnny recently, and he said that there was some shift, and now I don't know if it's just his shop, but they're getting paid really well on all of the body shop, like the insurance, the crash cars and stuff. And he said they don't really even do outside customer work anymore because it's not worth it. They're like, we make so much off of the insurance that it's actually more beneficial for the shop in profits and everything like that to just go through the insurance companies, which is interesting because I always thought that they were like always pushing for like $50 an hour, which is like, where do you have room to pay a technician if you're only getting paid $60 or $80 an hour? I think at one point it was like $50 or $60 an hour for body work. The insurance company would pay that.
Yep.
Which is like insanity because if you think about the level of detail, not only do you have to be a mechanic, but you have to be somewhat artistic. Not autistic.
I mean,
but some guys are. Some guys are. Artistic, meaning like you really have to like have a feel for materials and like, you know, there's an art form to it.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if you're doing mechanical work or even electrical, it's pretty much, if you know the textbook rules and the diagnostic process, you can do the job. You don't have to. I mean, I guess there's some art that goes into wiring a little bit if you want it to be super clean and that type of thing. Or if you're building a car, that's different. But when it comes to like repair, it's really just about doing it per the repair manual, which, you know, isn't art.
I'm just laughing you saying that, and then I think about when I was at the dealership, all the cars you would get in on
flat
trade.
Rate whores.
Like, come on, well,
oh god,
no,
oh,
like,
no, not to say that you can't be artistic, because there are some people out there who are using all types of materials to repair a vehicle that are very creative.
I have seen everything from wood screws to Bondo over wood screws. I mean the stuff
like
that,
bodywork.
Okay. Dude.
All right.
I mean, we've all driven down the road and you see a car where like the friggin' badges are 100%
in the wrong
spot, and you are like, okay, that thing's been hit in the back probably at least once. Possibly twice.
If it was an Altima.
You have, I mean, I've seen everything from like wrong trim level bumpers on cars to like when you look at Volkswagen, right? Because they had like whatever was called uni black. You just had your regular like gloss black color, and then you'd have a black magic pearl or something like that GTI, and you would see a rear bumper on a car that was very clearly uni black with the badge in the wrong spot, and you're like, who did that one?
Yeah. Well, if the car gets smashed hard enough, then they don't know where it was, and they're like, ugh.
It's not that hard to figure out.
No, I know. You just pull up a picture. It's not that hard.
Not that hard.
There is a video that we need to upload, because when he started saying that, I instantly thought of this video, because he's like, I've seen some pretty creative things. And in this video, it's literally a guy like smoking a butt in a shop. He's got a Mark I Cabrio on the lift. I don't know if I've showed you guys. It is absolutely hilarious. He goes through it. The exhaust is at the end of it, it's got like a motorcycle muffler on it. He's got wood screws through the body. And the guy is just, the way that he narrates the video is probably, you will laugh out loud. He is so funny. He's just like, get creative with it. You don't want to use just one, use some speaker wire. Yeah.
There's some guy, I don't know, he has a very, very thick Southern accent, but he talks about painting cars, and he's like, y'all motherfuckers can go to your shop and pay $6,000 for a paint job. He's like, I'll paint your car for $699. And he's in like a shed, no mask on, no nothing, just spraying these cars in a shed. And he's like, ain't gonna be perfect, but it looks good. And it's just like,
dusty.
What are you doing?
The guy who painted my my black GTI purple in like 2000 or 99 or whatever the fuck it was, dude sprayed it without a mask. He's just like blowing purple snot rockets out of his nose. You know what I mean? I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No, we'll share that Monday after this. After this
don't
airs.
let me forget. I started
That's like
googling Mark 1 cabriolet exhaust.
I've
Get
been real lax
creative.
with like posting on Instagram. I just do the Monday, and I've been busy this week. I haven't posted anything on like the Car House Instagram.
That also just reminds me, like, how many times have you, like, you know, back in the day, come on, we all went to Lose. To get your... How many times was there a guy sitting there holding up a muffler with a cigarette in his mouth with a welder with no mask on? Just...
It says DIY exhaust 101 shocks mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just it's decent looking cabriolet. It says it has Ohio plates on it. I'll share it. I'll share it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I'm going to just put it in that group chat. But yeah, you guys will be
we'll
laughing
share that
about
Monday.
that. That's
That'll be
funny. Yeah, get creative. I mean, try to follow the repair manual.
Yeah.
Just for the next guy.
Get creative within reason.
I say, if anybody has any, comes across anything with like badges in the wrong spot or bumpers hanging
Anything.
off,
I mean,
tag us.
you see shit, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God. I try to share it on my Instagram because I just think it's hilarious when you come across something that you're just like, wow, like whoever worked on this is an absolute moron.
The best part is, I remember once we got a Passat. So, like, I forgot what trim level it was. I think if you got like an SE with Tech or an SEL, you got the chrome trim on the side. Clearly, the car was hit on the side, whether it was a T-bone, side swipe, whatever it was. And it's like, you know, you go out and you do the trade appraisal and you're like walking around the driver's side and you're like, everything looks good. And you get over to the passenger side and you're like,
wait a minute.
there's no chrome on the rub strips. Oh, no, it's fine. It's never been in an accident.
Yeah.
I paid cash for that repair.
Yeah. And then you open up the door and it's got a freaking blue door hinge on it and it's black.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no,
It's fine.
it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Carfax, you don't always see
don't
it.
know.
You don't always know. You got
Carfax is, at best, it's a guide.
Yes.
Like,
You hope that it went through insurance.
Yeah, you hope that it went through insurance, but there are so many times.
There's a well-known dealership in Boston that new cars get hit on the lot because valets don't know how to drive, and they just send it to the body shop, get it fixed, bring it back. It's paid cash.
I mean, you used to do that all the time. I mean, new cars would get...
Yeah.
Someone would go on a test drive, a new car would get hit or whatever. You know, obviously, you're not going to make an insurance claim on it.
right. It's
Nope.
internal.
So you'd go ahead and fix it.
Yeah.
And then,
That's
you know,
it.
typically what you do is we literally print out a disclosure. Like, I think...
Oh, no, they're not telling anybody.
Oh, yeah, no. We would print out a disclousure. Like, I
think
forget...
legally you have to.
Yeah, I think it's anything over $1,000. You technically have to disclose it. I remember we had a white 6.5 GLI that if anybody knows where Seacoast is, well, now Portsmouth Volkswagen, but
Oh, is that what it's called?
yeah, so it's on the corner of Portsmouth Road in 33 out in Greenland, and that intersection is just a madhouse. It's like a double turn lane. People are just, nobody cares. People always run red lights there. I had a customer on a test drive in the GLI, and some chick with a DC Integra, no license, nothing, blew the light, obliterated the front of the car. Obliterated. They like rolled it into the dealership, coolant spilling everywhere, like headlight gone, front bumper hanging off, all that stuff. Guy bought the car. He was like, "You gonna fix it?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right."
Let me know when it's done.
Pretty much, literally,
Wow.
but left a deposit. He was like, "Let me know when it's done."
Cut him a deal? Not really.
Not
right?
really.
Wow.
I mean, the guy was.
I'd be like, I want it, but you're
the
gonna
guy
have to...
was so gung. I think we did take.
Yeah.
Like, I think we took like $1,000 or something like that off of it, or something like that. Like we ended up, obviously, like, you know, we just did all the part.
Did you guys send it to?
So we had two people that we used for bodywork. Yeah, so we used mirror
They were
image
good. They were
on
good.
more. Oh yeah, dude, he did when I got rear-ended with my Golf R. He was like the only person. Like I called. I don't know if he's still there. I'm gonna assume so. But
Jason.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I called him and I was like, "Hey, I'm like, I just got hit in my R. Like, I need you to fix this." And you couldn't tell after the paint match.
Johnny probably did the work. That's where
he did such whoever did the work did a phenomenal job. But yeah, like usually
I would assume he probably gets all the Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
And he's also like the senior.
Yeah, brand new cars and like higher end stuff that we'd get on trade that needed paint work. We would send it there. But then we had this other guy. His name was Pierre. What was the name of the company?
Little French guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going out
literally.
It's a guy named Pierre.
Yeah, no,
he's
literally.
about 5'4", and he's French.
You're fairly accurate. He might have been like 5'6", but I want to say his company was Interstate Blend, I think it was called. But he was in the same what's the word I'm looking for? Commercial Park or wherever where Mirror Image was, but he was like 2 buildings back.
Yep.
But it was just him. He had no one else working for him. But he was like, you could drop a car off to him that was obliterated on a Monday, you'd have it back on Wednesday morning.
Wow.
And his work was solid. Like he did such a good job on everything because he was anal.
Yeah.
He would do it fast, but he was anal about it. So like paint match was always spot on. Like if he was painting a fender, like he was blending. It wasn't just like a quick like bodge, paint it, slap it on the car, call it a day. He did all of our like rust warranty stuff. So like back in the day when Shauna had her Mark V GTI, that thing needed rockers on both sides.
She had a Mark V?
Yeah. Yeah, so she bought it, Jamie Deutsch.
Yep.
So his friend Adam that lived down in Boston, he bought it brand new in 06. So it was like an early 06 GTI, so it had like the blue tinted windows and everything like that. And it was a package 1. So it had the upgraded Premium 7 audio, had the plaid seats, but had a sunroof and heated seats. And but yeah, that thing needed rock because it only had, she bought it 2014, I think. It only had 70,000 miles on it. It was a 6-speed stage 2 full Eurojet turbo back intake, H&R Cup kit, had a bunch of stuff. She bought it for like $4,500 because he was living in Boston and he was street parking it, and he was like, I don't need it, and I don't have space for it anymore. He's like, $4,500, like just take it. So the thing was fantastic, but because it was outside street parked in Boston, always in basically a snow mound all winter, like it was both front fenders, both rockers, a quarter panel, and a hatch.
Oh wow!
All under warranty for free, and he did it, and it was. You could not tell blended because obviously like Volkswagen doesn't pay for blending with the rust repair.
So he
did all the blending and everything.
How does warranty pay for that? Like I know how they pay, but like what do they actually?
It was probably his last one.
No,
he liked them?
He did.
Our body shop hated them.
No,
and
you
then
guys use the
we
same
stopped doing it because Volkswagen was so nitpicky with warranty stuff.
Yeah.
That I think some of the claims were getting bounced because they were like. And now, basically, the rust warranty, from what I'm reading and from because I bought that one of the CCs that had some rust on it, was still under rust warranty.
Yeah, because it used to be 12 years unlimited mileage.
The fucked up part is that the warranty coverage, if you go in through the warranty, they call it WISE, but it's basically like the whole policy manual.
Yep.
If it doesn't have a tech bulletin explaining the rust in that exact area, then it isn't gonna be covered unless you have like this extremely in-depth process. And from what I've been told, a lot of it's been being declined. So it's like, even though mine was a 14 cc, the bulletin covered up to 12, which is the exact same body.
Yep.
But it wouldn't cover the 13 and 14. So it was like, there's rust on it, but they're gonna fight you because it's like, oh well, it wasn't cleaned properly or something, because it's not part of the bulletin that they know is a problem. So I don't know. I think maybe over the years they've gotten more strict with it. But my Passat did get full. My 06 Passat did get a full rocker. It got full 2 front fenders and it got the rear quarters replaced under warranty.
Yeah, I mean this was back 2016-ish, somewhere in that time period.
That's when mine got done too.
But yeah, even
2018.
when I bought my 05.5 Jetta, it had no rust anywhere else on the car, but like the trunk around the license plate was just there was like,
oh, on the Jetta?
yeah, there was close to like a fist-sized hole.
Oh, wow.
Like in the trunk.
Oh, under, yeah.
Right below where the license plate, like where the two bottom screw holes are. It was like right underneath there, and then it was bubbling around the license plate lights.
And
as
the
well.
GTI was probably right where the emblem flips in.
Yeah,
right,
the GTI was the emblem.
Passat does the same thing.
Okay.
The rear quarter, they didn't want to cover it because it was in an accident on the other side. So obviously that side didn't rust. Pretty sure it was like 80% Bondo, so there was no rust there. But the other side definitely had rust, and they argued with that a little bit, but they ended up approving. They didn't do a full quarter replacement, but they approved to have it like ground down, repaired, painted. But yeah, no, my Jetta was just no questions asked, literally. Like, I remember when I was at the dealership, Sarah sent the pictures into Volkswagen, and it was like almost like an instant, like, boom, approved. New trunk lid.
So on the topic, when I was on vacation, they released a tech bulletin, and they used to have one back in the day, but it's leaking versus seepage.
They went through that shit with us too.
For any repairs now, like coolant leak, oil leak, anything, any fluid leak, you need pictures.
So we started doing
to
picture
submit-
documentation recently.
and it can't be seepage. Like, it can't just be like a little bit wet.
Oil I get, because all right, that could seep for years,
Right.
but coolant, like, that's not gonna slow
But like
down.
also on the on the
I think
flip
it has to do with their financial situation.
I was gonna say, because like on the
they're sick of paying out piddly
well,
warranty
they
claims.
they shot themselves in the foot with Dieselgate. And
Yeah.
now they're
but like on the flip side of things, like if I had a brand new, like, expectations, right? If you buy a brand new car, like,
If it's leaving a spot in my driveway or
not
my
even
garage,
that, but if you're underneath your car, you're looking from the top side, and there's oil coming out of something. It doesn't matter if it's leaking or seeping.
Yeah.
like that's an issue. Like, it should be fixed.
right. I agree.
No,
I mean,
like I
there
said,
was-
seepage and oil, it's gonna build up dirt. It may not ever leak onto the ground.
well, I actually ran into this recently, and this is Audi, but S6 4-liter, right? Thermostat housing looked like it was leaking a little bit. And so Greg was like, oh, well, check, there's a bulletin, just check and make sure that it's, it could be related to that, because there was no real coolant loss concern.
Was it
But
just like the crusties around the
It looked
outside?
a little dry, like coolant around basically there's a cover that goes on the end of it, and it looked like it could be leaking from there. And he was like, it might be leaking a little bit higher. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I haven't seen any like real coolant loss or anything. So I checked the bulletin, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. And it literally basically said that the way that the cooling system operates, that it's designed to shed a little bit of coolant from a certain area, and it needs to. And then here's where it got a little weird. It says, but you can replace this O-ring.
Sounds like you're
So
reaching.
so I think it was like a warranty thing. Like, if you saw this, then you replace the O-ring, and then it's like clean it, and then like, if it's not like a real coolant lot, it's like a seepage thing, then it's normal. Right?
Do you imagine that? You go to the doctor's like, hey, Luke, I'm leaking a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
You're fine.
It's seeping. It's not dripping on the ground.
Yeah, you're fine. Just wipe it up.
One of the guys on the tech group was like, my doctor told me that when I was 40. He's like, anal seepage is the same as anal leakage. They both suck.
Man.
Just monitor it.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it.
I was like, that is so gold.
Man, these Friday night conversations really go off the fucking rails real fast.
Oh my god. Yep.
I was just thinking about the Flex Seal. We had this so the transfer case in the Atlas, they would leak right at the seam. So instead of like just replacing, a lot of the transfer cases were getting replaced. This is the bevel box or whatever. But they came out with this bulletin which was like, clean it and then take like, just take your thumb and put like 3/4 of an inch wide.
Just go to Home Depot and get a caulk gun and just put it around.
Jesus.
I was like, you want me to just spray with Flex Seal? Like I can just spray the whole case.
It'll never leak out again.
It's just so funny. I mean, I get it. Like there's certain things like, I don't know. I was trying to think of something. I'll think of something mechanical where it's like you're always going to see a little bit of that oil like seepage, like a little bit. Like it just always seems to be the case, but I can't think of anything in particular at the moment, but it's just like there's like you can either put some sealant on it or something like there's really I don't know.
That's
whatever.
crazy though.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, guess we'll get into
Alpine Volks Fair.
Vag Fair.
Vag Fair.
Yes, I will say it was an excellent time. It was a lot. Not as many cars as I thought, but still a lot of cars.
And I think I mentioned it. It's you got to know somebody, kind of.
I think it was
submit your car.
I think it was more
because they don't want the riffraff.
Right. So it was more about like having them kind of vet you. Like essentially if you wanted to be a part of the show, you just emailed them and then they kind of like check your Facebook and your Instagram, do a little background check. And I don't know exactly what they do, but I think they want to account for the people who are there and also the cars. So ironically for me, I didn't bring the same car that I registered with. It was cheap. I think it was like $30 and that lets you get into all the events. I didn't ever need, nobody ever asked me, like, you know, not to divulge their secrets or anything like that. If you're going to go to the show, just send them a message, support the show, pay the money. But for me, I was within walking distance to where most of the meets were. Well, not all of them, because we drove to some of them, but I could walk right down the hill, and it was like pop-up meets everywhere. So I never really had to like show anybody like any form of identification or anything like that. So
just walked in.
Yeah, it was really chill, and I think the group that was down there was pretty well behaved. There was one post in the Facebook group which was like, I think it was the guy who runs the show, and he was like, the cops have just said if anybody's driving recklessly again, they will be arrested. So
it was a Mark IV.
No, no, it was there was
Mark IV kids.
There was a solid group of BMW guys there, but honestly, I don't know how they were driving outside of the center because you couldn't drive very fast or speed bumps and stuff, but all of the cars looked pretty nice, like the BMWs. So hopefully everybody that went down that wasn't part of the Volkswagen Audi group was well behaved. I don't know, but regardless, they didn't want other people coming there for that very reason, because they don't want people drifting.
They don't want it to turn into what Soho was.
Exactly, which is probably why it shut down in the first place.
Yeah.
But everybody was really welcoming. The cars were incredible. Like, I will say, really good mix. What I liked about the show was that it wasn't really just... I didn't really even hang out at the main show on Saturday for too long. We walked through, we talked to some people. I had already seen most of the cars during the week.
Yeah, all the pop-up meets.
Yeah, so we went to the Mark IV meet, we went to the Mark II meet, the Mark I meet, the air-cooled meet, pre-2K meet. So at that point,
A lot of meat.
it was a lot of meat. And I will say, man, what I liked was we went to the Audi meet too. So that hit all of my interests.
Yeah.
High performance Audi stuff, which obviously I love. the air-cooled stuff, which was really cool, and it was up at this coffee, the Jumping Goat, which was really cool because it like overlooks, and they actually have like not wild, but there's like cows out on the like the pasture there. So you look down, they had really good coffee and stuff. But then you had like the pre-2K stuff, which you would have been geeking out about, obviously.
I mean, that's why I like Roots.
Yeah. And
it's like everything I like.
It was just that, but expanded. But Mike, the Mark IV meat was actually really good. And you know what? I'll say this. There were less nice Mark Vs there. That's for sure. Because the Mark V is tough. I like them a lot. Trust me. I think the technology advancement from Mark IV to Mark
100%.
V, absolutely great. But I think that the Mark IV, for a lot of people, it was right. It was enough technology where it wasn't like overcomplicated, and they were pretty well built for the most part.
I mean, they were better than the Mark III. Like,
I mean, that's not hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I mean, the Mark III was like its own unique.
100. I mean, each one was better than the last.
Whenever I see people comment on Facebook, like, what's the best generation? There's only a few people that say Mark V, and they always get flamed. Because I like
because they're people of no taste.
Yeah, because the Mark VI was the better version of that.
Well, but the thing was, it was only the Mark VI Golf. Like, what was it? We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think the downfall of VW was the Mark VI Jetta.
Because
it turned into a cheap piece of shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the Mark V was an expensive
The Mark
version.
V was literally like...
It was
an all-out...
No, I get it.
Solid build quality.
It was like
you pop the trunk of a Mark VI, and that's when they started not putting in insulation and plastic covers. You pop the hood. There's no, you know what I mean. There's nothing. The battery cover.
Yep.
No battery cover. It's just a. No, I agree. They tried to make it a cheap car for more people to buy, and it.
I mean, hence bringing back the AVA.
Well, so to give Mike some credit, I haven't seen that many nice Mark IVs in one place in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, remember when we went to Waterfest and Mark IVs were like everywhere, and they were like all modded and nice?
Yep.
That's like
I mean, to have a nice, I mean, I'll even argue to have a nice Mark IV or even a Mark V these days, it's dedication. Because I mean, especially up here in the Northeast, I mean, those cars just got eaten alive.
And they made a shit ton of them. But they were also just beat the shit out of.
Rusted and
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, there were some really nice.
I'll have to
really
dig through my
Mark
Waterfest photos because I went for like probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like I took pictures of Mark IVs because that's what I had.
Yeah.
So I'll have to dig through and pull out some gems.
I was gonna say, I mean, when I started going to Waterfest, I mean, your oldest Mark IV was 2 years old, maybe, or your newest Mark IV, if you will, was only like 2 years old at that point. So I mean, those were still.
Yep.
Yeah, it was funny. I actually thought of that the other day. So my first Waterfest with my GTI, I want to say was, I don't remember, maybe 2006, 2007, right? I went prior, but I didn't have my GTI at that point, my Mark IV. And I was thinking, so the car was 5 years old, right? My Golf R is a 2017. So going to a show with it now,
it's almost 10-year-old car.
It's almost 10 years old, which is crazy because I think of it as almost a new car. And I thought comparing it like to the Mark IV and going to shows then, but I'm like, no, that thing was fucking 5 years old then, which really wasn't very old.
So my first year, I had to Google it because I didn't know. I went to Waterfest 13, 2007.
Okay, so that was
the first year.
I think I went. I might have gone. I think I went the year I graduated, which was 06. But
yeah, mine was 08 or 09. I think it was the first year I went.
But 04, I did go.
And I drove down. I think she had the 5 Series wagon. We had an E39 wagon. I think we took that down. And then there was another year where her boss let us take her R32 down.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm 99% sure we took that down. And then I started taking my Mark IV and then my 337.
Yeah.
I think I took my 337 for like 3 years.
Yeah, I will say it was cool. I saw Kim was, I know she was messaging you guys, but she she was saying, we were standing there talking to this guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, is this a shitty Mark IV that she was talking about? I want to hear more about this.
It had a TSI swap.
I'm going to try to get it word for word.
It was a Mark IV Jetta with a 2.0 TSI from a Mark VI. And I was like, oh, you don't see that very often. And it had the 6-speed, and it was like, he actually used the O2M, which was interesting.
Hold on, Al's got the quote word for word.
You can finish your thing if you want.
But no, it was a pretty well-built car. And me and Tyler, my coworker, were talking to him for a while, and we were like, oh, this is really... Because I had actually really wanted to swap one of those motors into a Mark I, because... Driving the Golf R, I'm like, these fucking... I mean, the Golf R is a little bit different than that Mark VI motor, obviously. But they're all relatively the same, the EA 888 motors. And they're super capable. And they're unique. And if they break, I have parts everywhere. You know, like... the 180 is great as well. And they're readily available parts. Yeah. But it's something different.
It also takes a little more to get... what you need out of it.
The 180 would be, I don't know. It's if you're gonna go full build, you could probably make the same power, if not more, with the 180, because it's like tried and true. You probably won't run into it, but the EA 888 motors are good as well. So it's like, you know, people are pushing those pretty hard. But the cool part is you put it in, you could run a stock turbo, and he said it rips. He's like, this thing rips. And I just thought it was neat. It wasn't... The hardest part was the wiring, obviously, but... because it's mostly bolted into a Mark IV, which was cool. But what did Kim say?
So it started off as I go, well, if we go to Roots this year, at least you and me can do non-car things. So, like, I was saying this to Laura. And then Kim's like, if someone else is with me, it's tolerable. But otherwise, Dan is standing there talking to people for 40 minutes at a time about some engine I know or care nothing about. He talked to this guy for like 20 minutes about his shitty Mark IV Jetta. I was like, what on earth is so special about this car? Because it looks like shit.
I remember when she sent that. I was... Like it was like, I think that was in the morning when she sent that. Like, it wasn't super late in the day.
Tell us how you really feel.
It was 3:20 p.m. But I mean, we were all. I just remember we were all at work.
Yeah, I just remember reading it, and I was like, I just started laughing my ass off because I was like, I could picture Kim just standing there,
just right behind you. Like, when are we leaving?
Like, she never looks that disappointed though. I look over at her to check every once in a while.
But then I can picture Dan, like, in my head, I pictured you, like, on the ground underneath the car, looking at, like, all these, like...
What'd you use for mounts in this? Just taking a look at everything.
I had a pretty good idea how he built it. It was just... He was talking to me. It was cool. I actually started following the guy.
I mean, it's a cool swap.
Yeah, it was neat. It was, you know... And it was like, oh, they drive the car, so that's cool. But yeah. Anyways, that was not the highlight.
It wasn't for her.
I did get to talk to Fred from Tech 53. That was really cool. He drove a truck down, a Rabbit pickup that they just did the 1.4 swap in.
That's nice. I mean, we saw a shit ton of those at Roots.
Yeah, so we saw Eurocraft, Matt from Eurocraft.
They had
it was
two
just
or three
the two
in there.
Yeah, it was just Matt's which he drove down.
I mean, two's a shit ton.
Well, he built them both.
I know.
But yeah, Fred came down with his. I think he drove the truck to a shop in California, and then they did the swap there with all of his parts that he's developed, and then he drove it from California to Georgia. And I was talking to him in the parking lot too for a while, the same park, because he was parked at the Mark I meet, which was the same location as the Mark IV meet at a later time or earlier time. But it was interesting talking to him, and he was really cool. He seemed like a really cool guy. I would check out Tech 53 if you have a Mark 1 or 2 or 3. They specialize. Tech 53 is the model designation for the Scirocco, so I think that's how they started out. But they do BMW stuff too, E36, E46, and they track test all of their shit. So I bought a bunch of parts from them for Adam's Rabbit through them, and they're in Canada. But yeah, awesome dude. Yeah, I mean, it was nice catching up with a lot of people that you talk to on the internet. Like, I hung out with some friends that I'd never met, and it was just like, hey, what's going on? You want to link up? And it was like I missed some, but like I didn't. Me and Corey Sterling were going back and forth for a while, and somehow we didn't end up talking to each other or bumping into each other, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like we'll catch them in Maine, or we'll catch them at the next show. But,
Vag Fair should be around the corner.
It is, and it's a new location.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to go because I have to work that Saturday. So, and it's like a camping thing, Saturday,
the show's Sunday. I've always just driven up on Sunday, but I know the camping thing has become like a bigger thing.
I don't know if the show's going to be Sunday. I'll have to ask him. I think it's like, I don't know the layout.
Yeah.
I don't know the layout, but they've found a location. I think he's pretty excited about it. So obviously, you know, they had a big following. A lot of guys like, you know, Paul Ramos, and like he used to camp like every year. He was
John Stevens and
Miles Toby.
Okay, yeah.
I know him and his friends used to go a lot too. But I would say overall, Helen was cool. You could walk. Basically, the thing is, dude, there was like 3 restaurants in Helen that we were like, okay, these are the best 3. The shops were okay. Like a lot of stuff wasn't open early during the week. So like I would say you could
open until this weekend.
It was like, so I think that's the thing. June is basically when they do the tubing opens because the water's a little bit too cold.
Yeah.
You could tube like towards the week, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you wanted to. But yeah, sorry. But like there wasn't like I wanted to rent a bicycle so I could like rip around, do some trail riding. And the one place that rented bikes like permanently closed. I think I could have driven somewhere to get a bike and then like outside of town and then, you know, try to figure something out. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hang out. And we went to all the meets and we drove around a little bit, but then obviously my car broke, which was unfortunate because, you know, I wanted to drive it. There was a lot of nice twisty roads, which we did end up for the first couple days getting, but I ended up having an issue with the intake spool valve on the camshaft. Kind of a weird one. Like the car would run great, but you'd get this like clacking noise. And then eventually I got a camshaft position fault. And I'm like, the fuck's going on? You know? So those spool valves basically thread into the end of the camshafts and they control oil flow.
Okay.
And they're electronically actuated.
I think they're Vanos actuators for us. So.
Similar. Yeah. So basically I was like, okay, let me see. There's, you know, a few parts stores around. I'm like, they're not going to have any of this shit, obviously. So I had Elliot, my wholesale parts guy, overnight the parts. And then I swapped the cam magnet because I had tools for that, but I didn't have the special tool for the spool valve. It's like a keyed thing on the end of the cam. So I ended up swapping the cam magnet and I was like, okay, cool. Like, let me try it. And I drove it like 30 minutes away and it was like, it seemed like it was fixed, and then I started having issues and getting the clacking again. And it was like, dude, the motor sounded like it was going to come apart. I'm like, this is so crazy that this is causing this. So I had to wait another day from Amazon, got the toolkit, swapped it in, and we were good to go. And it was running perfect. And I was like, sweet, no issues with that. So, yeah, sucked kind of, but we drove it all the way to Virginia a full day, and then we slept overnight and then drove it all the way home. So a lot of miles on the Golf R.
How many is it?
Oh, shit. I mean, we broke it up, but I think it's like 18 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
6 it's got to be about 800-ish.
800 to 1,000 miles, yeah.
Down.
Yeah. I think it was 2,000, Tyler had said, because I mean, if you go straight, like, that's a fucking haul.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm, like, capped out at, like, 9-10.
Yeah. We pushed it one night. We were like, all right, well, if we don't book a hotel right now, you know, we stayed in, like, Blacksburg, Virginia on the way down.
Where Virginia Tech is.
Yeah, Virginia Tech. Yeah, and they were graduating.
Lars' brother went there.
Yeah. So, there was plenty of, like, food to get,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
It's a college town.
we did stop in Baltimore on the way down, which was cool. So on the way down, we stopped in Baltimore, so it wasn't bad. It was like Baltimore one night,
7.5 hours, something like that.
yeah,
8.
it was like Baltimore one night, then Blacksburg the next night, and then so it was like,
so it's not bad.
We made some stops along the way, which was cool. We
Because
went to the aquarium.
from here to Blacksburg is like 12 hours.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, on the way back, we did it in 2 days. Like, we stayed in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So I think we drove for like a full, we woke up early, 8, left, and we were on the road until like 8 o'clock, I think. And then we stayed, and then the next day we drove all the way
How
home.
often you got to pull over for June?
Never.
No.
She drinks like drinks like a quart of water every 7 days.
Oh, wow.
She's really easy. Like,
Yeah.
Luke, we would have been stopping every 40
Oh, no.
minutes.
When we went down to Roots.
Oh, yeah.
If he wasn't farting, he was pissing.
Oh, God.
It was bad.
That was before we figured out that
Yeah.
he had a esophageal, or not,
Yeah.
it was something in his small intestines. He had like a piece of plastic.
Dude, it was like
lodged in his-
80-year-old old man farts.
That's going to be going to Roots with Al in a couple of years.
Yeah.
80-year-old man
seriously.
farts.
Yeah. No, it was interesting. It was different. It was a different, miss the guy so much though. He's just our little buddy. He's
Yep.
different than June. June's so easy.
Yeah.
She did really well. Like, everybody loved her down there. We took her around. We didn't go to the dog meet because she
Doesn't like dogs.
would fucking pick a fight. But no, I mean, it was really cool. Like, honestly, it's cool that everything's like German. But I will say, you could probably do it like a long weekend and just fly down. And our friend Luca, like, he flew down and rented a GT3.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's the move. He rented it on Turo.
Yep.
Like, it's probably like 400. It's probably more than
I mean,
that.
if you only need
It's
probably a lot more than that.
$1,000 a day, maybe. 450, 500.
Probably.
Depends, I guess, But regardless, I mean, you fly down, you stay for, like I said, Thursday through you leave Sunday, because that's when the action happens. Earlier on during the week, it was cool, but I wouldn't say it was like, I would rather go to Tybee Island in Georgia because that place was amazing. That's where we went last year.
Okay.
And there's like beaches, and then you can literally drive 25 minutes to Savannah, which is one of the coolest cities in Georgia, if not the coolest. So you're a little bit out there in Helen. It is the mountains, so there's cool hiking and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like 90, if I remember correctly. I think it's like 90 miles northwest of Atlanta. I think if I remember correctly.
Atlanta was like a few hours.
Yeah.
But we had no desire to go to Atlanta.
No.
I wouldn't want
Atlanta.
to go there. No.
No, I went down to training to Atlanta once, and I was like, now 5 miles down the road from the training center, and they're like, "Where's everyone staying?" They're like, "Oh, we're across the street at the Marriott." I'm like, "Oh, my manager has me 5 miles down the street at the
In the
Marriott."
hood.
Yeah, and they're like, so he's like, "All right, for everyone that has a car," which I didn't because I flew in. They're like, if you're going to Walmart or something, you need stuff, don't go to the closest one. Go to the next one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then told me, do not leave your hotel room. It is what it is. But they're like, do not leave your hotel room. Like, do not go walking around.
Yeah.
Like, just stay in your hotel.
Walmarts in certain areas can be scary. Remember when we pulled up to the place in Austin?
Yep.
So when we got the condo that we stayed at when we went to the race down in Austin.
Oh yeah, Austin's a weird.
Very weird town. So we ended up.
It is Texas.
Yeah,
so
I remember when we stayed.
it's wide out.
So
wide.
like we looked at. I remember Kim sent us the pictures of the condo, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then we got there, and it was literally like. How would you describe it?
I mean, it was not. I wouldn't say it was like the hood, but I mean, because there was like a neighborhood right there. But I mean, it wasn't.
It was
weird.
not. It was like not what the pictures.
Yeah.
But remember,
that was because we wanted a half an hour from the stadium,
but-
and it was like expensive if you wanted. We could stay in. Here was the thing: you could stay in nicer areas, but they were like 45 minutes to an hour away.
Yeah. All I remember was that I forget whatever restaurant we went to, when we went to that beer garden the first night.
That place was
and
cool.
What was it? Cosmic Coffee and Beer or something
Was
like
that
that.
The one that had like food trucks outside?
Yeah, it had the food trucks, and we were like
cool.
outside in the courtyard.
Yeah,
I remember we were talking to someone, and they were like, "Oh, where are you guys staying?" And we were like, "Oh, we're on this particular street." And they were like, "Oh, are you north of the highway or south of the highway?" And we were like, "We're north of the highway." And they were like, "Lock your doors."
It's tough.
And then we realized when we got back to the condo that night, there was literally like 7 deadbolts.
Oh
on
my
the door.
god. Yeah. It was close, so that was cool. But dude, Austin is just a weird.
Yeah, it was
Coda is not like in the best area.
We were talking about that earlier because we were like, I was like, next year, I'm like, it'd be cool if we rounded us up and we went to Montreal for the race.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we drive there.
Would it be the same date next year?
Yeah, usually it's right around Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
But we were saying that it's like Austin, where the race, everyone stays in Montreal, but the race isn't necessarily in Montreal. Like, it's outside of the city, like with Coda. It's, 30, 35 minutes away from Austin.
Yeah. In farmlands, basically.
Yeah, in farmlands.
It seemed like, I mean, there was people that had like...
I mean, we parked in some dude's basically cornfield.
It was so
the day of
weird.
the race.
It was so weird.
But, where were we going with that?
Well, dude, so Baltimore...
Yeah, bad neighborhood. So remember we went into that Walmart the night before the race? Because we were smart and we scoped out what they were selling for beers. So we went to Walmart and we bought the exact same size beers and everything like that. So that way we could, we just rolled them up in towels and brought them into the race.
That's right, we did.
Because the beers were like $17 or something like that. So we just went to Walmart and got a bunch of like Bud Heavy, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Tall Boys, and we just rolled them in towels and put them in our backpack so we can get into the race. And I think,
what do they look in the bags?
Well,
I think they did.
We had one issue with Kim with the bags where it seems like everywhere remember we went through security in Austin and she had like her fucking yogurt spoon that like was throwing off the metal detector.
They're like, "Why do you have 7 beers in here, man?"
But like, I remember
ask my boyfriend.
I remember we all got through, and then Kim's bag got searched, and she was like, "Shit, they were gonna find the beer," but like we did a good job of like we made it into that race with like 16 beer, 16 Tall Boys, like just all wrapped up and everything. But no, the Walmart that we went to that night
was that bad.
Oh, it was pretty fucking sketchy.
Was it?
It was pretty sketchy.
I
mean, we were feeling pretty good because we had just come from downtown Austin and we had some drinks and stuff like that. But it was...
I feel like Walmart's everywhere. It was sketchy.
It was like 11:30.
I mean, they're not good.
Yeah.
Even
it was Manchester. Sometimes you walk in there.
The one in Hooksett isn't that bad.
The one in Hooksett isn't bad. The one in Concord's I am
fucking
proud
scary.
to say I have not walked a foot in that Walmart in like 7 years.
When I used to hunt for Hot Wheels, like I'd go in and be like, 1, it's empty, and 2, it's fucking scary in here because it's like an old Walmart.
Yeah,
you can tell it just.
The last time I went even close to that Walmart was when I sold the All Track.
Yeah,
because it was going out to Oregon.
Right.
The transporter, he was like, "I need a big open parking lot to meet you."
Yeah.
So I ended up meeting him in the Walmart parking lot. But that was
survived.
I think that might even be the last time I was even in that parking lot.
I don't go to the Walmart park in Manchester because the last time I went there was with my friend in Kim's GLI and somebody backed right into us.
No.
And I was like, sick. And then it went to Mirror Image and they did a fantastic job. We ended up getting a new set of headlights, doing like new fenders. Johnny did the rocker. It was like, it actually worked out really nice. The car's nicer now. But yeah, Baltimore downtown, the aquarium, holy shit. Like where Kim's sister lives is really nice, right? Because he works at a university. He has his doctorate in music. So he's like a professor. He's like, great dude. Honestly, super happy to have him in the family. And she's pregnant too, which is really cool. So, but I will say I knew Baltimore. We driving out last year, we were like, wow, this is like a really shitty area where like there's like boards on the windows and like crackheads in the street.
It's another one of those cities where it's like it's either good,
yes,
but very quickly goes from good to not good.
Well, even like where the aquarium was, it's like on the water, and like it's not that nice down there. And she was saying if you go further up the road, like it starts to get pretty nice. But I was like, we were walking around, I'm like, it was like I wouldn't want to be down there at night.
Yeah.
Like
it's like good old Manchester. Stay away from the tree streets.
See, I feel like Manchester everywhere is like fine.
I was talking to Laura about it because last Saturday night, because we recorded on Sunday.
Yeah.
My buddy John Dume.
Yeah.
So like we usually try to get together every couple months to like go grab dinner and grab a couple drinks after
I
and whatever.
To the podcast. He was bashing Strange Brew again.
Oh my god!
And then he ends up at McGarvey's of all places.
I didn't end up at McGarvey's.
No, we talked about.
I said McGarvey. The last time I went to McGarvey's.
I thought he said he went there.
The last time I went to McGarvey's, I got kicked out of McGarvey's 3 times in the same night.
Oh shit! No, I thought you said you went there. You're like, we left Strange Brew. Went to McGarvey's, a real bar.
No, so what I was saying is that. I still don't get Strange Brew. I don't get it.
What do you mean?
I like it.
I don't get it.
So you mentioned Industry East, which is funny because I know the owner,
like 8
Dan Haggerty.
people.
Remember we ran into him at the Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
The last time I saw him out at the bars, guess where he was? Strange Brew.
Yeah, but the thing is, so going back,
he represents the locals.
Not to like,
whatever.
We talked about it last time, but like, I thought Industry East for some reason, I thought it was closer to the Fisher Cat Stadium.
No,
like in a mill building. I thought it was a big place. So after we had finished dinner, I searched up. I was like, "Oh, where's Industry East?" I'm like, "I think we're going to be going on a little walk
across from Crown."
Yeah, I was
where
like,
you guys went.
I was like,
together.
"Oh shit, it's 350 feet away from where we are right now." So it was not what I was expecting. Great drinks.
Yeah.
Great drinks.
We went there. Me, Laura, and
I was very impressed with the drinks.
Did you get a Moscow Mule?
No, I got.
I didn't like that.
You didn't?
No.
It was called the Gentleman or something like that. Yep. So you could get it with gin or bourbon.
Of course,
and
I had gin.
I had been drinking bourbon that night because there was a fantastic drink at the Crown called like Kung Fu Panda or something like that. And it was like Japanese whiskey with like orange bitters and like something with tangerine and Lillet Blanc and something. I don't know. It was fucking delicious. So I got it with bourbon, and it was like bourbon with like lemon, and I think it had like a little bit of cinnamon in it, and like a little bit of apple or something like that. It was almost like a little desserty, but it was very bourbon forward. Yeah. So it was really good. And then after that, I was just like, you know what? I just want something simple. I ended up getting an old fashioned. Yeah. And to be honest with you, it was probably one of the better old fashions I've had out at a bar. But
tight in there though.
Yeah,
very real tight.
But no, but I was telling Laura, like, so we were walking around Manchester, and it's like, not that Concord's any better, but I was like, I remember why I don't go out Manchester anymore. There was some dude in like
the homeless people hanging out in Elm Street in the doorways are tough.
Yeah, there was
that's not as bad as Baltimore, let me tell you.
I just remember it was like 3 years ago, it was one of like our sales meetings that they have at work. So like the VP of the West region had invited me to go out to dinner with the West team that night. So they went to 110, and we're all sitting down, like, we're having a good time. We had a couple martinis. We're eating our dinner. And I remember my coworker, Jason, that he lives out, where does he live? LA, Redondo Beach, like somewhere in that area. He lives in a nice area. And he was like, man, he's like, I can't get a read on Manchester. And then we literally, not even 3 or 4 minutes later, a homeless guy just shoves his ass against the window of 110.
Oh my God. And I'm like,
there it is.
Welcome to Manchester, my friend. There you are.
Well, you guys were talking about the pint too. And the pint used to be really good, but now it's like, so it's not to say it's bad. It's just, the crowd in there is sort of weird sometimes. Like it's a little strange.
So we had almost went, because we were like, I mean, obviously, like when we were younger, we used to go out Manchester all the time. Yeah. So we were like, let's go back and like at least hit one bar that we used to go to. So it's like we did obviously Crown, we did Industry East. I like Shoppers.
Shoppers is cool. I like that.
Where's that? Because I don't.
It's right next to the. I always say the Verizon Arena, but what is the Southern New Hampshire?
It used to be Indian Head Athletics.
That's a Mexican place, isn't it?
No, it's a couple doors up from the.
Right.
Yeah, but I like Shoppers because Indian Head Athletics.
Yep.
Playing baseball my whole
Yeah,
life,
same.
I would always buy all my stuff there.
Yep.
So like it's like a little nostalgic because they still have the old Indian Head
Yeah,
sign
I heard that.
up on the shelf. So it's really cool. It's like a little nostalgic.
Is it just a straight bar?
Yeah, they have food. I haven't had any of the
But
food
for the
there.
most part, it's like going to Thirsty
like a
Moose
sports
or
bar.
something.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of
Alright.
it's kind of one of those bars where it's like it's not on the top of my list. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, son of a bitch, like we have to go to Shoppers. But it's one of those places that like after you've had like a couple of drinks and if you're looking to wind down and just like grab a beer or like grab a crispy High Life or something like that, it's the perfect spot to do so. But yeah, we had talked about because we used to go to the Pine all the time.
Yeah,
because I had worked in the I don't even know if Anthem is still in that building anymore, but on the corner of Bridge and Elm, the building over there, I used to work up there. So like you get out of work and we would just boom, couple doors down, go right to the Pint, and that was like a regular place. Like literally every Thursday, Friday night, you'd go to the Pint, and it was delicious.
Oh, the Pint. It's the old Black Brimmer, right? On the corner?
No,
That's
What's that now? We're getting way off
changed.
topic.
It's
Yeah, we're
changed
getting way
like
off
Yeah, it's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. But I'm just like,
it's
where did
changed. It's changed like 7 times.
Yeah.
Like that place was Panucci's at one point,
Yeah.
I think, and then
But what I was saying, I was like the shit that you see when you're in Manchester. There was some dude in like probably like 2017, 2018 Mercedes GLS. This dude is just bumping music, standing up on his seat, screaming out the sunroof, getting out of his car at every red light, trying to start shit with the people behind him, and like all this stuff. And he's just swerving up and like across Elm Street and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to have a good time.
it all depends on where you are, though.
Yeah.
the damn-
the time of night.
Damn,
Elm
it
Street.
was 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a little early for some shenanigans.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. I don't stay all late anymore.
So I wanted to ask you, like, obviously you were way younger, and because it was 14 years ago, right?
Yeah, when I went to Soho. Yeah.
So it seemed like everyone there that was working was like very receptive of like AVF. They were like, "Oh yeah, you know, like you guys here for the car show." I'm curious, was it the same?
So it was
Soho was a little bit crazy.
It was a little bit crazier. I mean, obviously it was a different time.
Right.
I think it was because obviously like at that point H2O wasn't completely ruined yet. Like I think it was the start of the downfall of it. Because you know, like I had mentioned it last week, like, you know, Hellendorf. I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure there was a DJ there, or someone was doing
the
someone
parking
had
lot?
someone had a killer playlist.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was bring your cooler, you know, bring a bag of whatever, you know, everyone's handing everybody drinks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're in the parking lot of the Hellendorf until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, partying, having a good time. I'm trying to remember the layout of it, but the road with the corner, I almost want to say the infamous corner where pretty much every single burnout ever happened, that was at Soho. But if you kept on following that up, there was a group of like condos and cabins kind of up past the tubing place, kind of up on the hill a little bit. And that's where we had stayed the first year.
Yeah.
And it was great because kind of like what you were saying, you could walk right down to all the meets, everything.
Yeah.
You could walk right to the main strip and all of that. Ton of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's probably where we stayed. Honestly, was it right up the hill and then the Sheraton? I don't know if the Sheraton was there.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But like you could tell, like 2012, I think everybody was pretty tolerant of it because I think I want to say that was one of the bigger years.
Yeah.
I think like really like I can't remember when Soho started, but I think 2010, 2011, it was really starting to pick up, and 2012 was a huge year. So there were burnouts. There was a lot of extracurricular activities happening around the show. And I remember 13 definitely being a little bit more chill. Also didn't stay kind of on that main strip. I was saying I stayed with a bunch of guys from Mass and a few other people. We had a cabin kind of away from everything. It was almost like like a lodge
Yeah.
that we stayed in, right? So there was probably like 12 bedrooms or something like that. Had a big common area with like a pool table, a foosball table, all this stuff. Big outdoor area that you could like hang out and whatnot. It was so it was a lot more driving back and forth to the actual like, you know, party itself. There was, I feel like the show was probably bigger, because I think it was a lot more of like,
it wasn't as private.
Yeah, it wasn't as private. You know, they did. I mean, I think they had, of all the cars that I don't know how many cars were there this year.
I don't know actually,
but I mean, they used to hand out the stickers of like the top 100 cars.
Yeah.
So like, I think the show was Saturday, and then Sunday the showgrounds would be dedicated to like the top 100.
They could do that.
And
they
then,
could have done that. There's definitely, I would bet over 1,000.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I would think. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, everywhere I looked,
that's
there
a
was
lot
a
of
new
cars.
car. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was, you know, the top 100 was cool because it's like, it was a lot of cars, but it was also, you know, the people that were judging and stuff like that. Like, it was friends' car. Like, my GLI got top 100 in 2013. I had no business being in the top 100. I mean, that was, I didn't even have the impulse on it at that point. I had the
Tiguan.
Yeah, the Savannahs on it. And, you know, the fenders were all fucked up and everything like that. But, you know, it's still at that point, the GLIs were fairly new. So, like, not a lot of people had them. So, you know, it was a lot of fun. But I feel like now where I'm at in life, I feel like AVF would be a lot more of my speed. Because I'm not looking to go down there anymore to go on a friggin' 6-day bender.
Right.
And
just the one night.
Hey, one night's fine.
Yeah, have fun one night or something like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's, I mean, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I feel like it's probably run by a group of people who were there and you know, were at all
they watched the
crazy H2O times, the crazy SOO times, the crazy Waterfest times, and all that stuff. Where now, you know, those of us who still want to go with show or go to more of those destination shows, you're not really going for that sort of environment anymore. No. You're genuinely going to like catch up with people that you don't normally see some different cars that you don't normally see, not necessarily just have an all-out party. So I can appreciate that some of these shows have evolved into that more of like the wrong term is probably a wholesome good time, but like, you know what I mean? But like, you can go down there and not have to worry about waking up in the morning with throw up on your car, or, you know.
It's definitely not like the Wolfsgart like campground.
Like it's a different vibe, and I feel like something like that, like, I mean, I'm glad you had a good time. Personally, I mean, like, I wouldn't drive down there for just the show. Like, if I caught myself down there,
well, we did
around that show.
We wanted to do it for just to
one time,
just experience it, and also we did some other things as well.
I mean, Helen is a super cool town. Like, I do distinctly remember like pulling up to the town. I was like, this is a totally different vibe from everybody. Because I mean, I think we all remember that feeling, like after driving, you know, 10 hours or whatever, 9 hours, whatever it was, to get to H2O. You cross the bridge. You turn onto the strip and you're just like, let's go. Whereas like, even getting into Helen, it was a different vibe. It's like you're here, but you felt it was almost like more relaxing of a time. And then just the surroundings are stunning.
I felt that as far as a destination, maybe it's because I like the beach. I do like mountains, don't get me wrong. But because we do a lot of hiking generally, we try to do as much hiking as we can. We like the sights and stuff. But I felt that Ocean City, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was just because it's bigger and there's more going on. I don't know, or maybe it was just because it really felt like the off season early on during the week. Like, we were going to the shops and they were like closed.
Well, yeah. So that was part of the fun of H2O too, because if you got down there, or I remember the first year
they changed the date. They changed the date at some point and they pushed it
because of the flower festival.
1 week. I remember remember H2O?
We were down there partying with all the fucking old ditties.
Yes, the wine. They did like a wine festival, and it was crazy. Like, it was pretty crazy. But then they changed it to a week later, and then that's when we started getting hit with the hurricanes all the time.
Yeah, it turned into rain every year.
Yeah. But I agree that I was, halfway through the week, Kim had like a weird stomach bug. She wasn't feeling great. So I was pretty much doing car stuff the whole week. And it was cool because we walked so much. And that was really nice to like catch up with people, and the weather was really nice. But part of like it was almost like, you want to detach on vacation. To me, it just didn't. It wasn't so much like of that, you know what I mean? Like, where it's like if me and Kim go somewhere, we bring the dogs, we just detach. We're at the beach, we go to bars, we, pop around, which we did, but it just felt like it's cool to have the scene there and everybody's, having a good time and checking out the cars.
I mean, that's how I felt about Roots.
Yeah. But that's why I said, like, for me, I think if I were to do it again, I would do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe. Or if I was going to fly down, maybe just Friday, Saturday, and then leave Sunday.
Well, like, going back, like, that was the fun part about H2O, because, like, I think the first year I went, I think I didn't go down till, like, Thursday. So it's like you didn't have a chance to do anything other than party, cruise the strip.
Did we do Wednesday, Tuesday?
So my first year, I did Wednesday, and then I think we started going down Tuesday. Because like Tuesday, Wednesday, there's not a lot of people down there, so you can go do the random stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like come Thursday, the strips just like to get like we were talking about, I forget the place, the $2 margaritas and the tacos.
Oh,
Mother's Canteen.
Mother's Canteen.
We were trying to figure it out in the chat.
That was a great spot.
But like, if you want to go down to Mother's, it's going to take you half an hour to go 4 blocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
so
you're
it's
gonna
like,
get there and there's a 2-hour wait.
And then there's a 2-hour wait. So like, you almost need to hit Mother's like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Hit Secrets.
Secrets.
I said it in the group chat. I am proud to say I never once stepped
dude, remember
there.
when there was a dance party?
Yeah.
It was like a full-blown nightclub.
Yeah, and
you could go
into the water.
Yeah, I remember we had some good times there. I've never
been there, but
you didn't go?
No, I've never been there.
Oh, I went with the Milford guys. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, the Milford guys like to party.
They do. Yeah.
No, but the second year I went down, we did Monday to Monday.
Yeah, we came home on Sunday a few times. I was like, never again. We're leaving first thing Monday, because we'd go to the show. Show would end, leave at like 4:00, get home at like 2 a.m.
Well, it was great because everyone. So, like you were saying, so you'd get Monday, Tuesday, part of Wednesday, where you could actually like go to the places you wanted to eat, go play mini golf, go sit on the beach, go do whatever you wanted there without being bombarded by a million people. And then it was the same deal. Sunday, everyone was...
Oh, Sunday was like ghost town.
Yeah, Sunday was a ghost town. So everyone would go to the show and then kick out right after that. But that was great because Sunday night you had a chill night where, there may be still some people kicking around, maybe a few small pop-up meets and stuff like that. Yeah. But for the most part, it was just getting dinner, going back to wherever you were staying, chilling out a little bit, and then hit the road Monday morning. And
he was talking about Wolfsgart, and I think you made a comment like, well, the fairgrounds was like, whatever. I forget what you said, but we ended up, or later on, like we stayed at the campground a few years, and then eventually it was like Kim was like, nah, no more of this stuff. Like not 3 a.m, kids yelling, throwing beer bottles, which I did partake in festivities. Obviously, if you know me, I'll do it.
Never.
I'll still go.
I'll pay $10 for a wristband and stay there till 4 a.m.
But
I don't care. But I'm
going back to a quiet hotel room.
Yeah,
but we
I'm
started
sleep.
We started staying in Burlington, and that's when it really became a really great like vacation for us, where it was like you go to Foam Brewery, you sit on the water, you hang out by Lake Champlain, you go up the street, there's some really nice shops, and that's where it really became the destination for us, where it was like, oh, we can do other things while still having this car show nearby. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is what you want. And Burlington's really kind of an awesome place. Like, I don't know if you've like ever like hung out downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Burlington. Yeah, I mean, it has got
every year we'd go to Elgato.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
every year.
Yeah.
We'd go there. We'd walk up and down the whatever road that is with all the shops.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, they always had Saturday mornings. They always had the farmers market or whatever, like the craft market or whatever, like in the park down there. So we would always go do that because there was always just so many great different vendors for literally everything.
we'd walk all the way down to the water. We'd
Yep.
get ice cream, walk all the way back up.
Yeah, I remember one of the last years I went. It was actually great because we were primarily that year hanging out. We had gone up with and like in our little campground was Ross McLaughlin, Ben, Andrew, and Gabby.
Yep.
And it was awesome because like we went to Burlington. We ended up having lunch, got a couple drinks, ended up sitting by the water. I think Ben and I grabbed like a cigar, and we were just like sitting on the rocks, like on the side of the lake, and just like
awesome.
hung out there for a couple hours and just relaxed and everything like that. Like that was probably like my turning point for me because like every car show prior to that was just
A
a
shit show.
straight party.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you did. I mean, shit, even when you'd go to Staggered when it was at the golf course, it's 9 o'clock in the morning when you get there, and the first thing you did was open up your freaking trunk and crack a beer.
There was one year Walker was drinking mimosas.
Yeah.
It was just
Love
10 in the morning, whatever it was. Just, yep.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what but like that last Wolfsgart where it was, I mean, God, that Sunday, I think I was at the show for like a half an hour.
I think I used to love the Sunday show. Like we would stay for a while, but then it seemed like it was less of a show on Sundays.
So the
and
problem
then eventually
was
it
they
just
did
kind of
judging on Sundays, but every car was there on Saturday.
yeah.
And then everyone bailed out on Sundays, so there was like 2/3 less the cars.
Yeah.
You know, which it is what it is, but
Share the Hilton, the two Hiltons in Burlington, which are like the main.
yeah. I think that's where
there's
we
one
stayed.
closer to Lake Champlain, and then there's one up the hill. And the other thing is Burlington has so many homeless people now.
Yeah.
They have a really bad homeless problem. Like I was watching this documentary, and one of the shop owners that's had this family business for years. Like the shoplifting is crazy
Oh, wow.
to the point where, he was saying in this thing, he was like, you used to be able to point at a homeless person or point at someone shoplifting and say, "Hey, we know you just stole something," and they would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll put it back." He's like literally gotten confrontational and like almost gotten physical, or maybe has gotten physical with these people now because they do not care. They're like, "I'm coming in and I'm just taking this, and
Nothing
it is
you're
what it
gonna
is."
do about it.
And I don't know if it's what's going on there, but the fact that for the weekend it was over for 3 days, it was like $1,200-$1,500 to stay at the Hilton.
Yeah,
that
it
was the
got
last year.
aggressive.
Yeah, Burlington's not a
Yeah.
cheap place.
And
The Baymont used to be like $225, $250.
The Baymont was sick.
Yeah.
that was a good one. Now it's like a rehab facility, but
And then you had to go elsewhere, and then they started going 400, 500.
Yeah.
Once they knew that weekend was coming.
yeah,
They just started jacking
We'll
the
see how
prices.
Lake George is. I'm sure. Like I don't know how expensive it is, but I know people are optimistic about new opportunities. I don't know if
Yeah.
they have details or whatever about it, but honestly, I really honestly started love the cars and coffee thing because it's like you go there, you pop in, you see a bunch of weird different
Yep.
cars.
You heard
and you don't-
Manchester one got
Yeah, I heard about
shut
that.
down, yeah.
Remember, I don't know if he was there, but that kid that was revving his motor,
The
and,
E46.
in Concord
Yeah.
that morning,
Yeah.
and the cop was walking
Yep.
past us, and we were like, "Do you want his license plate?" And he was like, "There'll be another one."
Yeah.
That scared me because I was like, if they're not
You're letting it
enforcing
happen.
it, you're letting it happen, and if they're just like, okay, if you guys are going to do this, like maybe we don't care if you do it because we're just going to shut you down.
Yeah.
So that was like, they're not going to nitpick fights with everybody doing it. They're just going to take it as a collective. You guys are idiots.
Yep.
Your car group.
And you let
needs
one
to-
do it, another one's going to
Yeah.
do it, another one's going to
Yep.
do it. Next thing you know, everyone is.
Yeah. So beat up your local, whatever. What would you call them? Idiot?
Chooch.
Yeah. The kid was literally, the car sounded horrible. We were sitting there Sunday
Yeah, it was
morning
like a
in Concord.
straight-piped E46.
Yeah, it was terrible. And he was like just hammering it down the road, I think it's like a 15 mile per hour, 20 mile per hour zone.
I went to the last one. They said like there's people doing like 0 to 60 pulls.
Right on that main,
right
where
on
people
Main
are
Street.
walking. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. Well, Manchester, I had never gone to that one.
I went twice. Right before Justin moved.
Yeah, I went to that one.
Yeah, you met me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to go hang out with Justin and
Is
Dan.
it similar vibe or?
It's a Comcast parking lot. So it was just a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right off at East Industrial.
But it was, we drove by it a million times going bike riding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was cool. Parking lot, just hang out. And they run it from like 7 to like 11, but there's stragglers and shit.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Just walk around, see people.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I've gone to a lot of different shows over the years, and obviously some have changed, some have completely gone away. But I will say that like I've gone to really good shows. Like last year we went to Luftgart. Obviously that's a whole different demographic because
And it changes location every year.
It does.
Right?
And their whole thing is like just a perfectly executed car show, and just every car is like curated into a specific location so that when you walk in you're like everything is very artistic.
If you want to go see 930s.
No, it not necessarily
not like that.
together. Like it's all about like the guy that runs it, Jeff Zwart, he's a photographer and also like a Porsche race car driver. He did like the Pikes Peak Hill climb, and I mean he has pretty historic guy. He's done a lot of things in his career, but one of his main things is photography. So he wanted the show to be like everywhere you look is just like the angles of the cars like just match. So when we went to Durham, North Carolina last year for the show, it was unbelievable. And like it was a lot of spectators obviously because not everybody has $120,000 for an older 911, but you got like the ratty cars too, which was cool to see, the rusted out, like older,
a rat rod type.
Yeah, like there was a few kids that were just like, yeah, I bought this. It was a 912. I swapped the
K24 in it. We were talking about that.
A 3-liter SC motor, but you can do it. You just gotta be industrious.
Yep.
You gotta be smart. But that was just one of those shows where it's like I would go back to that every year. They just did it in Tokyo this year.
Oh wow.
I had gone to it in LA before.
I remember.
But it was just like they elevate the whole like everything about it. Like everything's just really, the cars are sick. The way they put it, everything out everything's thought of, and there's no like riff-raff, like nobody's going crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's an adult show, but sometimes I like it a little bit crazy. You want a little bit of that party. But yeah, you gotta
some
like
backpack beers.
Sometimes. But yeah.
Is it only Porsches or is it just air cooled?
It's only air cooled
Okay.
Porsches. So yeah, pretty much.
All right. I didn't know if there was like
No water cooled cars. Just
no, but I didn't know
air-cooled.
if there was like air cooled Volkswagen.
But they bring out race cars too and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know if I'm really looking forward to. I was trying to think like what other shows. I don't know. I would love to. I looked at the IMSA race car schedule, like the racing schedule, and I also looked at. There's nothing going on at Lime Rock really that I wanted to go to. I looked at the historic racing. Couldn't find anything this year around here because I'd love to go see like some of the old historic stuff.
Yep.
Like if you could see like 930 turbos on the track and like old vets and shit, that'd be sick because they do that at Daytona.
Okay.
I think it's the same weekend as the Rolex 24. I'm pretty sure it might have been Timmy that went. I forget who went. It might have been Timmy. I think I was talking to Timmy from
4 names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he went. I can't remember though. But yeah, I don't know. We got to do some races because I know you used to do it every year.
This weekend, like Memorial Weekend, I
would have been Lime Rock, right?
Lime Rock. I'd blow out at 2
IMSA,
o'clock.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd blow out at 2 o'clock at work. I'd already have my shit in the car.
Yeah.
I fly down. I get there. They're already there. They would take Friday off, so they bought 4 campsites, 2 trackside, 2 right behind it. So we'd sleep on the 2 behind it, and they'd have like 4 easy ups with tables and everything. Like they set it up, but I'd leave first thing Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And then they because there's no racing on Sunday. So, but they would hang out and stayed till Monday. And I'm like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I'd say Friday, Saturday, we get weird. Like, there's some stories.
You guys trying to do NASCAR this year? Loudon?
I've never been, and I wouldn't be against it.
It's fun. It's fun. I've done it
NASCAR's
a
just
couple
not
years.
my thing.
It's cool when you see it, though.
I mean, it's not mine either, but
it's not super expensive.
Yeah.
That's the nice part.
I do it once.
Yeah.
See how it is.
Yeah. I definitely have enjoyed it, and honestly, when you see the cars on the track,
I'm sure it's different.
it's crazy.
being there
They're
versus-
almost sideways. Like they come around the turns, and it's like, and you see it and you hear it, and you're like, I don't care if I don't like NASCAR. These cars are ripping, and it's sick, and you can tell how aggressive they're racing, which I have to hats off to all the NASCAR fans, and actually, is it Kyle Busch?
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
R.I.P. to Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was talking to Walker about it a little bit.
41 years old.
Yeah,
Dude, I
he had
was
like a
trying to find
sinus
out.
infection,
Okay.
and
'Cause
something
he just
happened.
raced.
Yeah, and then he just apparently like he had called 911 or something like that, and he was like short of breath and stuff like that, and ended up in the hospital. And
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
terrible.
41.
He was a fucking like an unbelievable driver too. He won a lot.
Yeah.
I think he was like the 9th most winning race car driver in NASCAR of all time. So that's pretty good. Top 10. You know,
that's
41 years old.
a
That's
lot
so
of racers.
young. That's
I know. I could be dead. Just saying.
let's hope that doesn't happen.
I could.
Just
Yeah.
I don't know. They
Yeah,
haven't really
41,
released
that's nothing.
any details about it. So who knows?
Wonder if there's something else.
I think Dan said he did some digging, but there's really not like a whole lot of
they're not gonna
information.
release
The
anything.
family didn't say anything about it. You know, it's pretty crazy. It might have been just like an infection of some sort.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But yeah, I don't know. We should do some race for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'd go to NASCAR.
NASCAR
Check
is
it
one,
once.
and then I mean Formula One is tough because it's expensive and you've got to travel.
yeah, I mean,
Like he said, Montreal. I mean,
from what I understand, the race in Montreal is not.
not super expensive.
Realistically, the tickets for COTA were not insanely expensive.
That was
when we went.
2021 though, right?
Yeah, obviously
Which-
it's more popular now, but I don't think. I mean, I haven't looked at the prices.
Yeah.
I feel like I read somewhere that Canada was still pretty affordable.
I mean, and it's closer.
Well, yeah, we can drive. We don't have to waste $1,000 on flights to get down there and back. And
range from $40 to $250 single day pass for Montreal.
That's not bad at all.
No.
I think we paid $250 for
we paid I think it was like
$350.
$350, but we had the full 3-day
weekend.
pass. Yeah.
And we had said we'd probably only do qualifying in the race.
Yeah, so the only thing with Canada though is I think it's now permanently a sprint weekend.
Yeah.
So you'd probably want the 3-day pass because then you're going to get 2 qualifyings, 2 races.
Yep.
Multi-day and weekend grandstand packages span from 400 to well over 15.
Yeah, I mean if you want to sit on the the start finish line.
If you want the GA admission, general admission, you're good.
I don't know if they do GA up there. I think it might all be
General.
Grandstand.
I mean there probably is GA, but I know a lot of the seating up there is grandstand, but
Oh, you know what? Al, did anybody reach out? Because somebody messaged me today. I didn't look at Instagram at all today, except I saw a quick, all right, here. Talking point for the podcast. Thoughts on Jetta Coupes in general. Why VW missed the mark again? No surprise. The only Jetta Coupe they made was the Mark II. Not sure about Mark 1.
They did for Mark 1.
They did.
Yep.
Yep. Mark IV Jetta Coupes from factory would be so baller. They actually made
there's
them.
a few people that made
did
them,
make- I
but
think
the
there's
rear
2
window
or 3.
looks super weird.
It's weird. Yeah.
But I mean, it was the kind of the downfall of the coupes at that point, though, because pretty much everyone had dropped them. I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
I mean, what coupes were hanging around at that point? Acura CL, the
Yeah.
Accord coupe,
And even then,
and like
going into
even
the
with
Mark,
like a
BMWs and stuff
going to
like
the Mark
that.
IV, I don't think they had a. Oh, they did. They did have that 2002. But yeah, they were.
A
They were
two-door
dying breed.
sedan is tough.
Yes.
But the Mark VI, they did
BMW
have
kept
a
it
concept
on.
car. I don't know if you ever saw
Yes,
it, the
they
Mark
did.
VI. It was
Yeah.
cool. It had like those CC like twisty wheels on
Yeah.
it, chrome. It was like baby blue. That thing was
BMW
sick.
kept it alive for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they still are, but
I don't know if they would sell. Honestly,
no, they got rid of the 2-door GTI. They're not going to make a 2-door
yeah,
Jetta.
he actually posted. He sent me this photo. This is a Mark IV Jetta. Actually, looks pretty good. They must have done a better job on that window.
Yeah, I was gonna say that back window's too big though. Like from
I think
the side,
I think that's
feel
the
like
problem is that the metal between the two windows.
A Mark 7 GTI 2-doors kind of look funny.
I didn't like them. I didn't think they
I
looked
think
good.
it's cool, but
that's not actually that bad.
Mark 5s.
Mark 6 2-doors look fine.
Yeah, Mark 6 2-doors look fine. Mark 5s were fine.
Mark 4s
I thought
were fine,
the Mark 5 I think
not
is
the
far
Jetta.
superior as a 2-door than a 4-door.
Okay.
You mean the GTI? We're talking GTI.
Yeah,
sorry,
GTIs,
not Jettas.
The Mark 6s, to me, it could go either way. The 4-doors look great. The 2-doors look great.
Yeah.
It didn't really matter. Mark 7s, the 4-doors definitely look
Well,
way
even
better.
Doug said Mark III. He's like, the rear window, because it's a GTI rear window, he said he would do custom glass next time.
Yes.
Just because he could make it kind of contour better with the body line. I honestly think they look pretty good as a Mark III Jetta Coupe.
I think Mark III
Ryan's
Jetta
car
Coupes look good.
Yes.
looks awesome. We should have him on soon. You were saying,
Yeah.
you want to do that?
Yes. I wanted to try to do it the week before 4th of July because I'm not around.
Yeah,
So I figured maybe we can do 2 episodes like we did Doug with that one.
yeah.
So like he's like, Doug, you could probably talk
For a million
forever.
years.
Yeah. You'd probably do 4 hours easy.
Yeah.
So we'll have to try to start early, so we're not here till midnight again.
Yeah, this is a little bit nicer. It's only 9:30.
Yeah, I know. I looked at the clock and I was like, damn.
Perfect. I'll be in bed at my normal bedtime.
Hey.
So I had one last thing to close on.
Yeah.
I was looking for a part today, and I don't know if you're like this, but I think most mechanics probably like kind of hoard parts sometimes to an extent, because you're like, oh, well, I don't know if you have, especially if it's a newer part or something that you pulled off a car that you're like, okay, this part's good, but
Yeah.
we're doing something else with the car, or they're getting it towed out of here or whatever. I was looking for a part today, and I was like, every couple of years or every year or so, spring will come around and I'll be like, all right, let me see what I have. Let me see what I can throw away, because I'm probably not going to use this. Why is it that as soon as you throw something away, you fucking need it? Is that just like, does that happen to you guys?
Yeah,
I feel like it happens, and that might just be like a hoarder mentality for me, because I'm like, I just want to keep it, but I do have to say, all right, I haven't used this in a year, but then I'll throw it away, and I'll be like, somebody will be like, hey, do you have this? I need this. This got screwed up, and I'm like, shit, I just threw one away. Why does that happen?
It does.
It's
it does
the
happen.
universe, dude.
Yes.
It's fucking weird.
I think you just end up keeping random stuff, and sometimes it works out.
Yeah.
I still had my all-track suspension, and you had that.
We had a customer. Apparently, the all-track suspension was no
you said
longer available, or was on back order.
Yeah, you said the rear springs were on back order for 6 months or something like that.
You could order them, but there was no ETA. And I want to say they couldn't have discontinued them, right?
No, I don't think they were. I don't think they're.
How long ago was this? 2 or 3 years
This
ago?
is
No, this was a year ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Mike had them in his shed. So we actually, I was like, I actually have a friend. We did it. We did H&R Springs, or
Yeah, I think the springs only had 700 miles on them or something like that.
so
I
they
pulled
were
them
new.
right
so
off
the
the car.
customer was like, well, what am I going to do? And I was like, I was talking to the service writer. I'm like, I have a friend who has basically brand new set, because he took them off his car very early on in its life. And I was like, we could probably get them. And so it was trying to collaborate between Mike, Shauna, because Shauna was involved, and then the writer and the customer.
because the
And he was
customer technically would have to buy them from him, right?
and it was weird because we were trying to do it in a professional way, but we was it was well, the customer was well, can I give him what do you guys want for him? I think, what did he give you, $120 or something?
Yeah, it was $125 or something like that. But he was like, I only want the rear springs. I'm like, no, you're taking all 4 of them, because I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want them.
It was funny.
I was like, save them for when your front springs
Yeah,
rot off
'cause
the
it's
car,
gonna
because it's gonna happen.
happen
So
Some of that stuff, on newer cars, it is worth saving, the stock
Yeah.
suspension, because you never know. If it's an older, high mileage car, it's probably not worth it. But
I have the stock Golf R suspension still.
You could sell that to somebody with a Tiguan.
Yeah, and
because that's what a lot of people do.
And I was like, I'm going to keep it just in case I ever need it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's going to be slightly lower.
Yep.
You know, so I figured if I ever need it, I have it, and it's only got like 10K on it.
Yeah.
I bagged the car fairly quick after I got it.
Was this the Mark 6 Golf R? Yeah. Yeah, it's funny though. Like, we were like, all right, well, he's got him in his shed up in Concord. And then it was like, the guy wanted to like get in his, he didn't have the car because it was in the bay. And I think the spring was like really broken. Like it was in 2. And I was like, well, this is really not that safe to drive. Like you might end up like, it might shift and then boom, you're like,
I forget what we figured out. We either dropped them off at your house or Shauna, or Shauna had to go to the office and she just ended up dropping them off at the shop or something like that. Like I forget exactly what it was, but
yeah, I do that all the time though. I'll save something for like 2 years and then I'll throw it away. I'm like, I'm not going to use this. I gotta thin the herd.
I have to do it with the parts I have at work.
Yep.
Like at home, they just kind of...
Well, at work, you have to... Like, I have a bench I can stick things under. But I was just looking today, and I'm like, I could probably throw some of this
underneath
stuff away.
my cart is just piled. I have a box of just nuts and bolts and random small stuff.
Yeah.
But I had a bunch of... I don't know. I had a bunch of random parts, and I was cleaning out my cabinet because we have built-in. So I was going through it because it was a mess. And I was just like... Trash. I was like, this stuff has been in here.
You'll need it tomorrow.
Yeah, stuff's been in there for 5 years. I was like, even if I needed it, I wouldn't know where to find it.
That's the other thing. You got to inventory.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that. I've done that a few times, but then you just add to it, and then you're like, oh, you can't find it. And it's like, but
I put cookies and axle nuts in like one box.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, well, if I need an axle nut,
I have
take that.
So I have organized all my bolts into M6, M8, M10, M12, M14, M16. So anytime I get, and then I have screws, clamps, like plugs. Like I try to be proactive about when I get that type of stuff, and it's like new hardware that I don't end up using or whatever. It goes in a very specific location, so I can at least figure out. I can dig through an M6 drawer. And I'm like, okay, M6 by 1, I need this. M8 by 1 1/4. I know it's in here. M10. M12.
They're all in a cardboard box.
Yeah. So I have buckets that have just from years ago that have just all bolts and stuff.
And you can't go through it. And it's too much.
When we slowed down, that's how I ended up doing the system that I made. Okay. But it took like a half a day to go through all my buckets. And then it was like, I threw away a bunch of stuff because it wasn't new hardware. But yeah, that's... side project, side story. But try to be more organized with shit. I've just got so many parts right now. I'm like, dude, I gotta get organized and like inventory. I gotta sell so much stuff. Like I have so much stuff to sell that it's crazy. Like, so I'm hoping I can do that the next month or two. I don't have too much going on next month, so we don't have anything. We have that concert.
Yeah, we got the concert next weekend. So we'll probably record Friday night.
Yeah.
Obviously, and then...
June, I think I'm wide open pretty much.
Like you said, we talked about Mike closing on the house, so he said he'll only be missing 1 week.
Yeah.
And then...
it'll just be that Friday.
Yeah, that'll be fine, and like we kind of got that planned out.
Cool.
And then I'll be gone July 4th weekend, and like I said, we'll try to double up one.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Any closing... thoughts, comments?
Not really.
I don't think so.
No. Cool.
No, I think we're good. Nice little 2 hour. So that'll wrap it up. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music. What?
So
Pocket Cast, Instagram, 3 Pedals Podcast, Car House. Follow us on Capone, Mike, Send It __ it. So send _ it. And Dan J Pendleton.
No underscores.
No underscores.
Just underwear.
He wears them on his head. So we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.